say that nothing good happens late at night. I can honestly say all of the best things in my life have happened late at night. The nerdy stuff happens during the day.
I'll go get all the sleep I need when I'm dead.
I don't know why people go to bed. Being rested for work is overrated. If you're gonna be tired, at least get paid to be tired.
This is Up Late with Brian Moote on radio.com.
Oh!
Whoa.
I know, right?
Legit.
We got Alexa doing the imaging for us now.
You know what? Nerdy stuff does happen during the day.
It's all
Yeah.
nerdy.
That's why I wake up every morning and I'm like, I wish I could just sleep through this whole thing.
You don't like that part.
I know.
Sorry. What's up, everybody? It's Up Late with Brian Moote. I've got Patrick and Shereen in, as always. And yes, we have Alexa doing our imaging now because I can't afford to have a real person do it. I can't afford to have someone come in there like, "Hey, it's Up Late."
You know what, though?
Brian Moote.
This kind of blatant disrespect for a robot's work ethic is exactly why they're going to take over one day.
That's true.
Because you're just like, oh, I can't pay anyone to do it, so I'm just going to make Alexa do it. Wait till Alexa has like a humanoid robot body and can rip your arms off and beat you to death with them.
I'm
Wait till that
frightened.
happens.
I am afraid.
We got these robots coming over here stealing our jobs.
And they're like, Brian, how does that feel? Does
It's a real
it hurt?
thing.
Does it hurt?
AI.
I mean, have you ever met somebody who does the radio voice imaging for things? It's uncomfortable.
Is it?
Because you hear them and you'll hear like the commercial they do, right? They're like, home improvement. You're like, whoa, what's up, Lowe's guy? What's up, Home Depot, man?
Yeah, you're just picturing some guy in like a tool belt and like a flannel with like bulging muscles, and I can fix anything. All I do is look at a leak and it stops.
That's pretty
It's
good.
my superpower.
Oh, really? That's convincing.
Thank
I
you.
actually met the first Siri, the old school Siri
Seriously?
voice. And she is a bitter human being.
Oh!
And
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, because listen, she's been like the most used voiceover entity ever. And when Apple pitched the Siri situation, she was on like a daily contract of like $250 a day just to read words like, "Hi, how are you?" Like just doing it. And it was a very robotic one. It's not the other Siri. And when I met her at a recording studio in Midtown Atlanta, and the guy who was doing the voiceover session, I would just move to Atlanta, and he was like, "Oh, we have the original Siri in here doing something else." And when you talked to her, it was like uncomfortable. It reminded me every time I'd ask Siri like an inappropriate question.
You're like, I'm so sorry.
Were you actually listening? Like in my mind, I was like, "Do you just sit in a studio?"
What's that supposed to mean, you idiot?
Oh,
All right,
my
we got a fun show tonight. But first, we need to talk about something that just happened, and it's called the Fart Walk.
Oh, God.
You know what you should
like-
play is like heroic music, because
Okay.
a fart walk is done by a hero.
That's
Okay.
They're
Hold on.
trying to
Really are.
save their
Look,
friends,
look.
their coworkers, people around them
It's
at
really
the
quite
store.
honorable.
Okay, I don't have a lot of options, but I got this one.
You're a jerk. You're a jerk.
No, I'm saying it's the opposite.
I know, but that's all I had here. Okay, hold on.
Listen,
Hold on. Here
But
we
it
go.
was
Here we go.
funnier.
Here we
It
go.
was funnier.
All right, Pat, tell us about your fart walk.
okay, if you're, I've been having some farting problems today. Okay, like the problem is that I keep farting. And even the little ones smell really bad.
Gassy
and they like,
individual.
Yeah, and they come like drafting up my like shirt
Oh,
and then
wow.
like creep
Oh,
up my
my.
nose. And I realized that doing that in a room around people that you care about is a dick move. So I go on what I like to call a little fart walk, where I walk out of where I'm at, I fart, I kind of spread my legs and walk wide as I also like pull at the crotch to try and like create a wafting sensation
Yeah.
throughout the pants that then shoots it through my shirt and kind of crop dusts.
Yeah, you got to get it out.
Look-
You don't want to bring it back in the room.
No, you don't want to bring it back in the room.
It's
not.
fun. It's funny because it seems like something weird and gross, but really, we've all done the fart walk. This has been something that I've done where I've let one just fly, thinking it's like, that wasn't much.
No
and
big
then,
deal.
And then immediately tried to relocate to an area about 10 feet away so that when people smelled it on that side, they would look to that side, and I'm one step ahead of you guys.
So, like, farting is kind of like snakes. Like, the little ones are more intense with their venom. Like, smaller snakes you need to be more worried about because their venom is, like, way stronger. Like, a
I
big
feel like
ripping...
Pat is like a fart scientist right now.
A big ripping fart, it doesn't smell that bad. There's a lot of air in there.
Yeah,
it's a lot of,
that's
like,
right.
just kind of, like, gassiness. The little ones where you're just like, you know, you just barely lift your leg and it kind of squeaks out and you're like, oh, that's nothing. Those are the ones that have hang time, like
Well,
Michael
you know
Jordan.
what?
Like,
You're
they just stick around.
You're definitely right because there was one time I was getting ice cream for me and Kenny, so he's sitting in
Don't
the car.
you tell us about girls farting.
I'm
not
telling
ready.
you right
Oh
now.
my
You
God,
better get
Shereen.
ready for this.
I'm not ready for
Equality. This is what it looks like.
This is part of the Me Too movement. Women fart too.
Hashtag I fart too.
I pulled up some farting statistics, and number 3 is that women's farts smell worse than men's.
Oh,
so,
You know what? I believe it.
public
Okay.
service,
So
Shereen.
I was getting Kenny and I some ice cream, okay? And I got the ice cream and I was walking back to the car and I was about to get in the car. I was like, man, I got to rip one. You know what? I'm going to be a real sweetheart and rip it before I get in the car. Boom.
Good
ripped it. Opened the door. Got in the car. I didn't do the wide walk that you were telling
Not a
us
wide
about,
walk.
Pat.
Kept it too much in the
and,
pocket.
And Kenny was like, did you just fart and then get into a small closed car with me? And I was like, I did though.
You know,
Dude,
you
babe.
could actually say, because I've done this before, where I've farted outside of a room. I was going to say receptacle, but it sounds
It
weird.
makes sense to fart into a receptacle,
Yeah,
though.
like I farted outside of the area that I don't want to bring the fart, and then gone into that room and brought the fart, or like in a car where I've like farted outside the car, got in the car, they start driving, they're like, did you just fart? And you can say no and not be a liar because you didn't just fart. You farted outside the car.
Okay.
The fart simply stayed inside your body.
Pat is also a
pants.
lying scientist.
Yeah, that's right.
is a fartologist, and you know the tiny ones, those short snakes have short tails, and they follow you strong.
You
All
are
right,
literally ridiculous.
you've all been educated on the farts.
Take a walk, you farters. It's a
Fart
public
walks.
service announcement.
Coming up next, we're going to talk about I got thrown out of a fancy steakhouse for being a ridiculous a-hole, and Shereen's been booted from Vegas for life. That's coming up next on Up Late with Brian Moote.
This is Up Late with Brian Moote. Because mornings.
No one likes mornings, man.
That's just funny.
Right? It
Yes.
is. We all pretend like we don't. I don't even think we pretend.
No. Hold up. I can't lie. I love mornings.
I love mornings,
I'm a
too.
dirty morning person.
Why?
Because I don't have to do anything after that. Everybody,
But, hold
you
on.
hate mornings because you have to get up and do stuff. I don't have anything.
All right. Hold up.
do
We
anything.
need to go back and define mornings, though,
Okay,
for
all right.
the people in this room. So, for me, morning is 4:30. I get up and do morning radio.
That's very early.
And
Dear Lord.
I gotta paint a smile on. I gotta talk about whatever Demi Lovato's up to. But for Pat, morning means whatever time he gets his ass out of bed. Like that means nothing.
Could be like 9, 11.
Usually, what mornings mean to me is when I find my dog and I grab him and make him like cuddle with me for like
That's
an hour.
cute.
That's a morning.
Who wouldn't like that?
My dog.
Shereen, it's
My
yeah.
dog hates it.
It's cute until you like see how much his dog's like get off me.
Yeah,
You're a
his
clingy
dog hates
weirdo.
me. I know.
Like
He doesn't like me. He's not.
It's
into it.
uncomfortable with people when people like animals more than animals like people.
That's actually so funny. Just
Like-
thinking
Can't
about
stand me.
you being like a weird cling master to your
Yeah.
dog.
Shereen, he looks when Patrick is trying to cuddle his dog. It looks like that parent who won't let go of their college child the first day of school, right? Where
like-
they're like, I can't let go of the youth and the memories.
If he had like actual human lips, he would be mouthing the words "help me" all the time.
Blink twice.
Help me.
Blink twice if you don't want this. But Shereen, for you, you're a parent. You have what, a 5 and a 3-year-old, right?
Basically.
So, like your mornings, you just like to get up before them, so you can just have a little bit of silence. You just sit in
Dude,
silence.
You best believe I'm up at like 3 a.m. on my laptop, just like, yeah.
3 a.m.
I'm not kidding. Not all the time, but
I can
sometimes.
check Facebook without anybody asking me
Dude,
what I'm doing.
my daughter's been waking up at 4 a.m. lately. I'm like, why is
gotta
this
stop
happening?
that right
Stop.
there.
I'm going to give her some Benadryl tonight.
Wow. Are you allowed to admit that publicly?
Yes, I am, Brian Moote.
I think that's called parenting, isn't it? Like
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't believe how many parents use Benadryl.
Yeah, but I don't know how
Knock
many.
their
Hey, you
kids
sound
out.
like you got the sniffles, idiot. Here, drink this. You're driving me insane.
Are those allergies or are you sick? Let's knock this kid out.
Well, we'll figure it out later. As long as
God.
you're sleeping, I'm happy.
I'm about to play audio of me sounding way more irresponsible than you, and I don't even know what to think about that
No.
admission.
I don't think you can, Brian. An irresponsible parent is the most irresponsible person
Look,
in the room.
I'm a kidless person, and as long as your kid doesn't bother me, I don't care. You can do whatever. When people are like, no, that baby's been on an iPod or iPad too long, I'm like, it's being quiet. Shut your mouth.
Exactly, dude.
That's
Oh my
either
gosh.
giving him more ice cream and chicken nuggets. Yeah, whatever keeps his kid, whatever buys his kid silence on an airplane.
Latchkey kids are the easiest ones to be around. They're just really good at entertaining themselves.
There's so much dysfunction happening in this
I know.
segment. It's really kind of
I feel
juicy.
like we're signing off on it too. Like, what's up? Leave your kids at home with an iPad.
Later.
I've never raised a kid, but
It's
I'm
like
pretty
an-
sure you can just set them in front of the TV.
It was
and
like an
just let 'em
accidental
be.
like Benadryl commercial.
All right.
We endorse this.
Hold on. We're gonna.
Not
you know what?
just for allergies.
You know what? We're gonna have to come back and do the segment about me being awful because we're gonna do a commercial. We are gonna do an actual commercial. We're gonna do a commercial for Benadryl. Shereen, do you want it? Would you like the honors for this? Knock you out. Mama said knock you out. Come on, Shereen. Give us the Benadryl commercial.
Are you parents tired? I am. Do you want to know what I use whenever I am tired AF and can't get a nap? Benadryl. You just give them a little bit. It could even be half a dose. Doesn't even have to be that much. And your child will finally sleep past 5 a.m. Thank you, Benadryl, for making all of our dreams come true. Can also ruin your life and make them go blind.
But Mama said knock you out, kids.
So go to sleep.
All right, for real though, coming up next, we're going to talk about me getting thrown out of a bar as a grown-up.
You're hanging with Up Late with Brian Moote. We are all living that snooze button life in the morning.
All right, so we got a caller who's going to support Shereen right now. Brooke is her name. She thinks that we were a little bit harsh on the whole Benadryl to the kids when they're not sick shaming. So in the next segment, we will talk about me getting thrown out of a fancy steakhouse for turning it into a karaoke bar. Brooke, you think we are too harsh on Shereen over here for the Benadryl situation?
Yes, I completely do. I am totally going to back my girl Shereen. Benadryl is not that bad. I mean, like, if anything, they'll just get a little drowsy. Maybe they had a couple of flu symptoms that were not seen but could have been there, you know?
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
is-
you said your mother's spidey senses went off, and you're like,
That's what
you're going to be sick.
Yeah, is being annoying a side effect of sickness?
Definitely.
Yes. Being annoying,
yeah,
you must be
definitely.
sick. You've got the flu. You're
I mean,
bothering me.
if hangry is a symptom that my girlfriend has for being an a-hole, then yes. Then I should
Yeah,
be.
if
must
only
be
you
sick.
could just give her a little Benadryl.
You know what? Actually, I'm coming around to your side right now. I'm going to start Benadryling my girlfriend.
Oh,
But,
that's
I mean,
such a
think
slippery
about
slope.
it. Like, when I was younger, I know that my mother put a little bit of something into, like, whatever we were having before bedtime. Just, you know, a little nip of something to get us.
Something like what? I'm
Like-
curious.
Like Benadryl or something else?
Like something harder than Benadryl, you know, like...
She doesn't want to put her mom on blast, but her mom was like giving her whiskey
Wait,
shots
yeah,
before
right.
bed.
Yeah,
before
was
dinner
your-
time.
I mean, it's not like my mother was a bartender. She just, you know, wanted us to sleep really deep, I guess.
I mean,
That's all us help moms want. We're really just trying to
Look,
help you sleep. deep.
everybody in the world needs to sleep a little better. So
That's
if
right.
a little bit of whiskey,
I love that the moms of the world are always trying to protect their daughters or kids from people slipping something in their drinks when they've just been doing it the whole time.
This is Up Late with Brian Moote. Bedtimes are for nerds.
that's
That's just
right.
funny.
It's Up Late with Brian Moote. We've got Pat and Shereen in. Pat is totally disengaged from the show right now. He is betting online. He's mixing between betting NBA playoffs on his phone and watching cat videos.
Cat and raccoon videos.
Raccoons are adorable.
Kind of adorable.
It was
yeah.
a cat snuggling or a raccoon snuggling a cat.
All right, I know we've talked about this numerous times throughout the show, but I was thrown out of a fancy steakhouse.
Which is so fun.
Look,
Just letting it all hang out, Brian.
You know what? They should kick you out of a fancy steakhouse every time you go into one because you order salads, and I think you ask if they have a buffalo chicken wrap without looking
I
at the
do
menu.
that.
He'll just be like, "Do you guys have
seriously?
buffalo chicken wrap?"
Oh
No,
my
you don't.
gosh,
No,
is that such like your thing? You just
Brian
like
once
those?
said he would rather eat a buffalo chicken wrap than the best steak in the world because he knows he likes a buffalo chicken wrap and the steak might be overcooked.
I
Oh my
did
God,
say
Brian,
that.
I can't with you right
What?
now.
I just-
What has happened?
Look, sometimes you got to embrace your
What you
lack
like.
of classy, and I am not a classy person.
I was
and
going to say basicness, but, whatever.
lack of class.
Okay, but your girlfriend's pretty classy with her cool shoes. I saw that she bought on Instagram the other day.
She did not buy those shoes.
You
I
bought
bought those
those
shoes
shoes.
because I need a breathalyzer on my wallet.
So funny. All she needs to do is get some drinks in you and take you shopping. Are
Shereen.
you kidding? This is a dream right
Shereen,
now.
I threw my wallet at her at Christian Louboutin and said, "Do your worst."
It's insane.
No,
thing to
okay,
do.
hold on, Shereen. This is really bad.
Why would you do that, you psycho?
I just get really happy when I'm drunk.
You're like, do it, girl.
I was like, "Yo, I need the airline miles." We were at Christian Louboutin in Buckhead in Atlanta.
Oh, man.
And we walked into the shoe store, and they just looked so cute on her. And then when I said, "I'll buy them," she was like, "I shouldn't get them, but I want these nude pumps." And I was like, "Oh, red bottoms. I make bloody shoes." I'm like, "Oh, Cardi sings about those, right?"
This.
Wow. Cardi B is influencing.
I'm not proud of
Well,
it.
what's your deal? You're just like,
I don't
not
even
into
buy
that?
myself shoes. Like I don't. I don't have a pair of shoes that weren't given to me by a friend out of pity.
Okay,
Who were
look,
just like, your shoe
But
game
like
is so
he'll
weak.
gamble. See, that makes no sense
because
too.
he thinks he's gonna make money.
Daddy
not
needs
lose
a new
money.
pair of shoes. You know what I
That's
mean?
where the saying came from. So, but
Ba-zing.
Shereen, her face looked so happy when I was just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're gonna buy them for me." And then, but here's the bad part: I bought the shoes. Look, that's my bad decision. But we were with our friends Joe and Taylor, and I was like, "Joe, you should get Taylor shoes," because Taylor wanted shoes. And here's why I feel
Oh,
really
you're the worst friend.
That's
yeah,
pretty
I'm
bad.
so
Oh,
bad.
I'll throw my
pretty-
wallet at her, Joe. Where are you at?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like,
I'll throw my wallet at my girlfriend and throw my friend under the bus.
wow, you are a dick.
But here's the thing: the shoes that I bought were like half the price of the ones that Joe ended up buying. And
Ouch.
boy.
Oh my God.
Is
Yeah,
it
it
too
was
much
bad.
to say the actual cost? I feel like I need to know now.
I'm
really just looking out
See,
for
if
the
yours
listeners,
were
'cause
$700,
they wanna know
then his
too.
were probably around $1,400.
Yeah,
if
it
they
was-
said $1,400, I've
Dude,
been
you're
like, how
killing
much
me.
for
Stop.
one?
Yeah, it was
Oh my
bad.
God, Brian.
How much for one shoe?
Yeah, you can just hop on one
You
foot.
I just
Bounce
hope Jessica
around,
knows
babe.
you love her.
Oh,
so
I do
much.
love her, but also like, I just love seeing she's so happy. She gets so happy. She's like a little kid, like on Christmas. She's like, "Oh, these shoes for me."
Well, once you guys have kids,
Yeah, that's right.
good luck with
The
that.
Christian Louboutins stop now.
See,
Those
they
are
should
the
have just
only bloody shoes
they
you'll
should've
ever have.
kicked you out of Christian Louboutin, not the steakhouse.
So what happened was, I threw my wallet at her. I said, "Yo, whatever you want, girl." Like she had my wallet for like a day and a half. I just didn't know where it was. It was in her purse. And we go to Hal's, really fancy steakhouse.
Okay.
If you haven't been to Hal's is like expensive. It's a really, really nice restaurant, and we were at the bar. And I don't know what's happened to me. This has happened a few times. In my 30s, I've just decided that if there's music playing, and there's someone playing music, and I've had a few drinks, then I'm just going to start singing.
Gotta do it.
And so this is about 10:30. It's way too early for this kind of nonsense. We're sitting at the bar house, and there is a guy playing piano. My friend Joe now is sitting with the piano player, and he's playing Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, which I got to be honest, I think that's his fault.
I agree completely.
I know exactly what he was doing. He was like, if you guys want to sing, I'm going to embarrass you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sing Freddie Mercury, you idiots.
So I'm going to play for you audio of us singing, and I'm going to tell you that people were filming us, and that is on Instagram somewhere. So this is us at Hal's Steakhouse, ruining everyone's night. Wait.
Oh, my God.
He's just a poor boy from a poor family.
Oh wow,
You're like not.
you were like really going for
You're
it.
not only off key. You're not even singing. Like you're singing it like a second after the song does.
I know. I sounded like a dog. I was whoa, whoa, whoa. Here's the best part about this video that I'm playing. It's 9 minutes long.
Oh dear
Oh
Lord.
my God.
And I was asked politely to leave the bar. And
Wow.
I can't imagine why that they would ask grown-ups in their 30s leave the bar until you hear this. Still going.
Just a little right for me, for me, for me. Here we go.
It
Like I
sounds
said, mornings are for nerds.
That's right.
It sounds like your stupidity was contagious because other people
Everyone
are
was like,
singing it.
yes, we're doing this.
That's no one's ever said something more true about me. Brian, your stupidity is contagious.
You can love me and leave me to die.
This is Up Late with Brian Moote. Because mornings.
Okay, so as you know, every night we do a segment. Why are you up late? What are you doing? You got to be doing something. It's late. It's a weeknight. I mean, you should be in bed if you're a responsible person, but you're cool. You're not some nerd who goes to bed early. And we've got Anthony on the phone, and he said his girlfriend is accusing him of cheating, but the truth is worse, is what I have on the call screening line. Anthony, what could be worse than your girlfriend accusing you of cheating? Like, what's worse than that? Like, how can the truth be worse?
So she sort of noticed over the last couple of months that I've been acting shady. It's true. Like, I'll cop to that. But I'm not going off to be with another girl. It's nothing like that. My buddies and I get together, and man, I'm almost embarrassed to say
I
it.
can't
We
wait
get
to hear where
together
this is
and
going.
I mean, when you stop the sentence at "my buddies and I get together," and
Everyone's like, oh,
and
God.
it's worse than cheating. All right, what is it? What do you have to admit?
we play Fortnite about 4 nights a week.
Oh, gosh.
That's awesome.
No, dude, this is
awesome.
no. This is too close to home. I can't.
Hold
no.
on, Shereen. Hold on. Shereen has a husband that's a gamer, and I think Pat really wants to join your Fortnite.
I'm in, dog. Like I have a group of buddies where every second together, and the deeper they get in the more relationships they have with like kids, and like the more they push for these, where they're like, "Hey guys, I mean, only like 2 people showed up last time.
They need
One
it.
of them went out by himself one night because he was like, "Oh, screw
Oh
it,
my
like
God,
I already got the
that's
night
the
off."
saddest thing I've ever. Has that ever happened to you, Anthony? Where you're like, "All right, Fortnite night," and everyone gets busted and they can't go, and you end up just like meeting up at some random garage. I don't know where the hell you guys go, or you just play Fortnite on your laptop by yourself at a Starbucks.
Yeah, probably the latter. I think I've done that a couple of times. It's addicting, man. Like, I'm sitting here playing it all the time, and my girl hates gamers, so I just don't want to tell her that I'm doing it.
See, you know what's funny? I relate to that because my girlfriend straight up told me, because I talked about it. I was like, hey, I might get an Xbox. My godson, we got him an Xbox. He lives in Seattle. He loves Fortnite. It's a good way to bond with him when I'm not in Seattle. And my girlfriend was like, I will not be with someone who plays video games. And I was like, but what if it's to bond with a 12-year-old? It's encouraging him to get good grades. And she's like, absolutely not.
What I love is that the fear of being caught as a cheater is outweighing the fear of being caught as a gamer.
That is so true. But to be honest, they're like kind of the same. This is why I said this is too close to home, because when I was first dating Kenny, we would be like vibing. We'd be so good. We'd see each other like a few times a week. We were into it. And then like he'd always holler on Monday, and then like Tuesday and Wednesday he'd go dark. And then Thursday he'd be like, "What's up, girl?" And
He'd go Black Ops dark.
Yeah, like I started to notice the pattern, and I was like so certain. I'm like, he must be dating somebody else. Like I'm sure whoever this is, like he maybe has like a Tuesday or a Wednesday thing with them, and then he comes back to me. I was so mad. I was like, sure that he was like double dipping in the dating pool. Come to find out, homie's a gaming nerd. And he raids playing World of Warcraft on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And I was like, okay, I think we're gonna be
he
all
was
right.
working his
I think
fingers, but
we're-
in a way nerdier way.
It was way less sexy for sure.
World of Warcraft on Tuesdays and what?
And Wednesdays.
Does he have a gang, a Warcraft
Oh,
gang?
yeah. And he's like the captain, the leader. Like, he was so into it.
I
It was
mean,
so
honestly,
nerdy.
if he had to bail on those days for a woman, those guys would be lost without him.
They
you know
would
what
be.
I mean? Like, what are
They
we gonna
needed
do?
him.
So, Anthony, at some point in time, you're going to have to come clean. This is the weirdest thing you'd have to admit ever. You're like, babe, look, good news and bad news. Good news is I'm not cheating on you. Bad news is I'm a gamer. Like, do you love me for that or no? Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, well, either way, I'm worried that I'm going to get dropped, you know? Like, if I got caught cheating or if I got got caught playing Fortnite, like she's going to drop me. So I'm not quite sure how to cross this bridge.
You know what I love about this is we're not just paying attention to the fact that either way you're still just lying to her. Like, that might be the problem.
Hey, look.
It's a less bad lie, though.
It is less
It is.
bad.
That's why I was all right with Kenny. I was like, all right, you're just a nerd. It's
I guess
fine.
it depends on what side of the lie you're on. Having to admit to your wife that she married a nerd is
Oh,
also
my
not easy, I guess.
I mean, like, just so depressing to think
She
that.
knows you're a nerd.
Nah, man, Fortnite. No, Anthony does not sound like a nerd.
Okay.
And Fortnite crosses all genres of people. You've got like.
Wow,
I mean,
look at Brian bromancing with Anthony so hard right now.
Look, if I could
He's
play.
right, though. He's right. You're very right.
Thank you. Look at that, Shereen. Sit down. No, look. If I could play Fortnite, if I was good at it, I can't. My only strength in Fortnite, and you're probably gonna hate this, Anthony, is I don't know how to use any of the weapons and stuff. So all I do is I know where the balloons are hidden, the balloons that you blow up. You're like, psh, and
I'm
you fly.
literally dying right now.
You can hover above the world, and I'll go up in the air, and I'll hover above the entire Fortnite world, and then I'll go down and get more balloons, I keep hiding.
I'm leaving the studio.
I hide up above the Fortnite world so that no one can kill me, and then I'll finish in like 8th place. So that's a pretty dope strategy,
so,
right?
Shireen, when Kenny is ignoring you, that's what he's doing.
That's-
he would rather
oh my
float
gosh.
around on a
He's
balloon in a
floating-
fake world and avoid
Exactly.
people than.
That's right.
It's like you're playing Fortnite too, and
Look.
he's just
Oh my
hiding from
gosh.
you in the cloud.
We should have something. We should have something constructive to say to Anthony. Anthony, look, I think Shereen's right on this. Is that at least your lie is not infidelity in the relationship,
Yeah.
but. I mean, you know your girlfriend better than anybody. If she thinks that you're being a nerd is worse, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I hope she doesn't. I mean, she has to like you for who you are. If she doesn't, then she can kick rocks. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
Is that too harsh? That's real, though.
My advice is you should try about lying something cool.
Yeah, dude, say
Find a new
you know
lie.
What? Yeah, shift the lie. You're in an illegal. You're in an.
Have you ever tried gambling? What about alcoholism?
My
Like
God.
these are also
Don't
really
listen to
good
Pat.
lies.
Don't listen to Patrick. Those
Do
are bad
not.
ideas. How about this one? I got a good one. You're in an illegal street racing gang like Fast and the
I
Furious.
love that.
Brian, you know, I feel like I'm learning about a whole new side of you today. Like, what
Gun
is
running.
happening?
You should run
Look.
guns.
This is Up Late with Brian Moote. Hit us up, you night owl weirdos. Let us know what you're up to. You're up late. You know that you have drama.
What's up? It's Up Late. Brian Moote. I have Shereen and Pat with me as always.
Yeah, that's
Hi.
right.
And that's right. Hit us up, you night owl weirdos. Listen to Alexa. We have someone hitting us up here right before the top of the hour. Apparently, they're going to bust their babysitter, who they think is throwing parties when they're gone on their date night.
Uh-oh.
On their date night. So they're going to come home an hour early, and it was her decision. She wants to put her whole life on blast, which I'm totally fine with.
Right.
But we'll find out if they were
Getting jiggy with it.
or being paranoid. But
Yeah,
they did
that's
say,
right.
so Shereen, you have 2 kids.
I do.
When you leave your kids with a babysitter, if you come home and the 3-year-old's mumbling about like other people being there,
Oh my God, I would freak out.
and they're not the most reliable witnesses.
I would,
Okay.
They're not, but I would still be like super frightened.
As a former babysitter,
Oh, you'd be the worst. Who did you
Uh-oh.
babysit?
I
What
have to
tortured
say-
kids like
there were some kids
damaged.
that I babysat
Who
back in the day.
the hell paid you to babysit?
I actually have friends now who leave me with their kids sometimes.
What
I babysat Dan's child. I took it to the park.
Dan, stop doing that.
Took
Don't
it-
take
I
it to the
took
park.
it to the park. Did you hear that? I
That's
took
what you
it.
do. You take them to the park. I mean, I took it to the dog park.
It's not
'cause
a
I
he,
didn't
it's
really
not a
know what
she, it's
to
an
do.
it.
Oh,
I
he
don't
took
know.
it. Shereen, he took it to the dog park because he's trying to get some action.
Of course you were.
Yeah, of course.
You're
Get some
You know what gets
digits.
girls better at the dog park than a dog? A human baby.
Human.
A human baby.
So much better.
They're way better.
So
But
we're
if you don't say that right up front, like, hey, you can't have parties, like, that's your fault.
I mean, I think that's inherent when the babysitter is
You
16
got to make
Yeah.
rules.
and it's a Wednesday.
If I can't fornicate, what kind of fornicating can't I do? You got to
Totally.
be very
Good
specific.
God. So we're going to hear from her shortly. But first, this study came out that said that the Boston accent was the #2 sexiest accent.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's insane.
That's insane. I lived in Boston for 3 years. I went to college in Boston, and no,
it's hot, dude. I don't know what you're
it's
talking
not
about.
hot.
It's
It's
so hot.
They're
crazy.
speaking through their nose. No,
East
you think it's
Coast.
hot because you just like Ben Affleck or something.
It's just
You seem like a Ben Affleck kind of guy because Kenny Thor, your husband, reminds me of Ben Affleck.
No, Kenny looks like Ashton Kutcher. Don't get it twisted.
He
Okay.
in my mind, he looks like.
No, he's Ashton.
I've
all
seen
day
pictures
with
of him.
blue
I don't know
eyes.
why that in my mind he looks because you know what your last name's Thor, which means I just can't imagine somebody looking like Ashton Kutcher. I imagine
Too masculine for that.
like your husband in my mind with the last name Thor has to just know how to work a hammer. Sorry.
You know what? He does know how to work a hammer.
Wow.
I feel like a huge
Why'd you
pervert
make
saying
that
that,
face?
but it's so true.
Like you said something so benign and unsexual, and then looked at both of us like, you know what I mean, y'all.
It's like, I don't know what you mean. Like, he builds stuff around your vagina? That's what that face said.
that is exactly what he does.
He builds stuff wherever I tell him to build it.
Yes. Kenny would be so happy about the show right now. He'd be like, yeah, girl, preach.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. 2 kids, married, still building houses and other things in and around my wife's vagina.
Just hammering.
Hammering away. All right, we're supposed to get into an actual segment.
How do you like
about-
them apples? Shereen, I'm hammering. Is that...
That's pretty Boston-y.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just-
Oh, you
right.
did that. Yeah,
it's
that was
nasally.
good.
I'm a cop. I'm a father. Yo, I live in Boston.
Terrible.
You want some
Make it
donuts?
stop.
You want to come out to my grandmother's basement in Worcester?
Worcester, Massachusetts.
Is that sexy?
Okay,
Is
you
that
both
sexy?
are pretty bad, but I say
All right.
Pat is a little
All right,
better.
Shereen,
with
let's
his
hear your
accent.
Boston
Oh,
accent.
I can't now because I just was such a biatch to you guys.
You have
like
to.
now,
That's the
You
whole
were
trick.
being a raging biatch.
Oh,
don't know.
this kid over here acting like she doesn't know the Boston accent. Blah, blah, blah. I'm Shereen Thor. I tell everyone the accent sucks, then I won't do it.
Can't remember where I
okay,
parked my
fine.
car.
I'll do the accent.
Ooh.
Still cooler than you
I
guys.
mean, that was so Queensy, New York.
Oh, that's right. You're right. That was really more New York.
And the number one sexiest accent was the Texas accent, which I just think sounds
Are you kidding me?
Southern.
See, that's
Who
weird.
did this
Y'all,
test?
who knows, man?
Why is that hot? I
Y'all,
don't-
we're just out here hanging out,
no,
you know?
there's nothing hot about
See,
that.
I feel like whenever I hear someone with a thick Texas accent, I'm just waiting for them to say something that I don't agree with. Like, it's like, okay, you sound nice. Like, yeah, come on over to my house for some barbecue, man. We'll just hang out, have a couple beers, chill out, watch the kids, shoot an animal in the face.
Wait, why is Pat
I
so
know.
good at accents?
Shoot a
like,
crater?
I'm kind of impressed right now.
He's an actor. That's what actors do.
I'm
They-
convinced
they
that
build-
you are like a cowboy.
I'm a mouth chameleon.
a mouth chameleon.
Another weirdly pervy, like
Yeah.
accidental sex joke.
Like Shereen's just getting hammered all day. And
apples and moats around my vagina.
And I'm a mouth chameleon.
Mouth chameleon. Patrick is he knows accents. He is an actor. He's very good at them. But he also hates a particular accent, which gave me the perfect opportunity to bring back a segment we haven't done in a while called Stomp Clap Rants.
Oh, man. Should
Where
I
you-
stand up?
I mean, you have
Oh,
to.
yeah, you
to
got
do it
to.
effectively.
Do it.
You need to stand up, and this is where. And I'm going to open it up to the phone lines. If you have a rant you need to make, now you know cursing, but you can rant over the stomp clap, and it feels good. Are you ready, Patrick, to show people what the stomp clap rant is all about?
Yes, I'm ready.
It's about Australians and their Australian accents. Are you ready?
I'm excited.
ready.
Embrace it. Are you feeling angry at Australians?
I'm frustrated at the very least.
He's a mouth chameleon who's frustrated.
This is so weird.
All right, listen up. Crikey, you idiots are pissing me off, okay? You live in a place that's like a wonderland of shrimp on barbecues and giant steaks where you surf all the time and everybody's really stinking hot. So why on earth are you coming to America? Stop. Just stop it. I am an actor, okay? And I'm like decent looking, but I talk like this. This is my voice. This is how I sound at auditions. Australians are walking into those rooms going, hello, my name's Big Biceps, and I'm here for the role of Kevin, the white, regular American man. And, here's my audition. Hi, Tina, I'm Kevin. All of a sudden, their voice changes, and they go from hot Australian to nerdy, white, American guy, and now I look like idiot who just talks in nerdy American guy, and you make me look stupid, so build a wall. Build a wall. Stop taking my jobs.
This is Up Late with Brian Moote. Hit us up, you night owl weirdos. Let us know what you're up to. You're up late. You know that you have drama.
All right, we're back. Shereen, I don't have any kids, so it's not like a thing that I'm comfortable commenting on too much, but like, what's that psychological process of leaving your child with a stranger? Not a stranger, but
dude,
a babysitter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to not feel like they're a stranger before you leave them. That's
What do you have a little interview with them first?
Step one. I mean, okay, personally, obviously some people are cool with like going online and hiring somebody and then all the things. But personally, I like to only get people who are personal referrals. It makes me feel like, okay, at least I have a point of reference. If you do something stupid, we have somebody in common. Like you're not just gonna like run off with my child.
So I can blame somebody if this goes wrong.
Well, like they know where you live. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. There's like just a little more of an anchor there.
You sound like Liam Neeson right now.
I'm a little crazy. Oh, are you kidding? When you have kids? Yeah. I mean,
know.
look, the crazy comes out. Well, it's really true.
The reason I'm asking you, and I want you to save some of your crazy babysitting stories, because I don't know if this will help Virginia feel better or not, but right now we've got Virginia. And so, Virginia, tell us what your plan is tonight and tell us why you are doing it.
Okay, so basically, I have a 3-year-old, and my husband and I, we have our date night, and normally we come home a little, not super late, but around like 10 or so. But lately, our 3-year-old has been, she can't really talk totally because she's only 3. But some of the things that she's kind of hinted at or given like verbal or physical cues that there's been somebody else in the house besides the babysitter, like maybe a friend or
Yeah, you're crossing your fingers. Friend, just a friend hanging out.
Friend.
Not a boyfriend, just a friend, hopefully. So wait, so your 3-year-old is like kind of mentioned, like what, referenced like somebody else?
Yeah, like she'll say like, the babysitter's name and be like, because she can say the word friend. Mm-hmm. So she'll say, she'll say Melissa, and she'll be like, Melissa friend, and we're like, what?
Yeah, come again? Yeah, I guess you can't, interrogate a 3-year-old like an old crime drama where you put a light on him and you're like, tell me more about this friend.
Yeah, it's like boy, girl, height, weight.
Boy, girl.
Yeah.
That's so funny, like a police sketch artist. You give her crayons.
Right?
Please draw what you saw.
Draw Melissa's friend. Yeah.
So
do you know how to operate the camera? Like,
right. Oh, you gotta sneak her with an iPhone.
I know.
So what's your plan tonight? So how often? Every week you have this babysitter, and so what's your plan?
So we come home basically we usually come home around 10. It's we've been married for a while. We're pretty predictable at this point.
Right.
So we usually come home around 10. But so my husband and I talked about it, and we decided that we're going to come home about an hour early, probably around 9, kind of do it where we're not going to give her the heads up. We're kind of just going to come home early and basically just to see if anybody is there. And, I guess if you want to use the word potentially bust her, but I mean, this could also be totally insane. Like we both feel weird because we want to trust her, but she is only 17, so we're not really comfortable if she has anybody there, because it's a liability for us if something happens too.
Yeah, I remember when I was 17, I had a girlfriend who would babysit, and I remember going over and hanging out when the kids went to sleep once. But I was a nervous wreck. Because you don't want the kids to wake up. These kids were a little older, too. But also, I was a nervous wreck of exactly what this situation is, where it's like, cars in the driveway, run!
Totally. I've had some terrible...
Right, it's like... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've had some terrible babysitting stories. Like, I'm mad at you right now, Brian, that you were that 17-year-old. You're a terrible human being.
Yeah, no, I was. I was a terrible human being. So your plan is just to kind of like, just see what's up. Just, not crazy.
Just pop in early?
Just see what's going on.
Yeah, maybe one of us, we have an early work day tomorrow. We just decided to call it a little early, just kind of drive down the street without the headlights on and
you just sneak up the driveway. That's when it crosses the line to being like a little bit more crazy than normal. Is when you're like, kill the lights.
Well, yeah, kill the lights. Okay, so what's worst case scenario? Like, what do you find?
I mean, worst case scenario is that she's got, a boyfriend over and, they're fooling around or something. And that's just, I mean, I am praying that that's not what it is.
Yeah.
Because, and the thing is that even if she had just asked, we would have said no to a boyfriend. But if she wanted one of her girlfriends to come over and they were going to watch a movie or something, I mean, we're not unreasonable. Like, that's, as long as we had met the friend and knew that they were, like a nice kid or whatever, then it probably would have been fine. But just, neither one of us are comfortable if it's, it's our kid. Like, we want to be upfront. We don't, we just don't like any sneaking around. And again, like, we could totally be blowing out of proportion, but I don't know. There's just that nagging feeling about it.
Well, totally. Like, you have to trust who you're leaving your kid with. So I get that there's a little bit like a question mark around the trust issue. But let me tell you, worst case scenario is someone who's piss-ass drunk who's been watching your kid for hours.
Yeah.
Because that happened to
God,
me.
I know.
So I'm like hoping your worst case scenario really is just all that's happening. It's like a little fooling around on the couch after the 3-year-old's asleep.
Right.
Because,
Not a passed out babysitter who's been hammered for hours.
Dude, that was traumatizing.
I'm all right, Virginia. We are going to check back in with you. How long would it take about, you're on your way home right now, right? Like, you guys are close?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can check back in with you and see what you found. If you found anything. Maybe we'll just be the people who tell you you're not crazy and that you're doing the right thing. Or maybe we'll laugh and marvel at
about how crazy it is that she turned down the headlights.
What you found. All right. Hey, look, we're thinking positively for you. We're hoping that it just, that your 3-year-old just now invented an imaginary friend for Melissa. Or maybe Melissa has an imaginary friend just for fun.
For funsies.
I hope you're right.
Not a dude on the couch. All right. We'll be right back in a few with the end of Virginia's saga.
You're listening to Up Late with Brian Moote, because morning people are annoying.
All right, I have been waiting feverishly for 15 minutes. I have been talking to Shereen about nightmare babysitter stories, and apparently I'm just the worst.
You're the worst, Brian. Absolute worst.
We have Virginia on the line. If you're just joining us right now, Virginia is suspecting that her babysitter's boyfriend or somebody might be at the house. We said boyfriend.
Oh, no, they didn't.
I think it's the boyfriend. Well, anyways, her 3-year-old daughter keeps mentioning, quote-unquote, Melissa's friend, but then can't really expand on that. So they came home an hour early from date night to see what was going on. Virginia, the note I got is that we got to make this call quick, so I'm thinking that it's not great.
I mean, a woman's intuition is a crazy thing.
You know what? I've been busted by that numerous times in various forums in my life. So what happened?
Well, we basically, we did what we said. We pulled in without the headlights on, and we kind of quietly stepped. I know, and we're not proud.
You got
I like it.
The ends justify the means.
And what? I'm just saying too. Like, if we're already this good when she's 3, like, God help her when she gets older.
Totally. She's gonna have like a chastity belt.
Right.
Oh my God. True. So we get up to the door, and it's not like we're ringing the bell or anything because it's our house. So the second that Melissa heard the key in the door, we could tell, because we have those sheer panel curtains, so we could see that there was 2 people sitting on the couch.
Uh-oh.
And right when they heard the key in the door, we saw one of them jump up and run into the other room. And when we opened it, I mean, Melissa, I actually feel kind of bad because I know what it's like being that age.
Right.
And, her whole face just went pale. And my husband was like, hey, Melissa, is there somebody else here? And she kind of was really nervous and didn't know how to react. And so he's like, all right, well, why don't I just go use the restroom and I'll be right back and then I'll take you home. And then she started stammering like, no. And then we heard, he went for the restroom and the bathroom door was locked. And basically this poor kid locked himself in the bathroom out of sheer terror.
Oh,
no. And
look, I told you guys, I've been the guy who snuck over to the house while my girl was babysitting, and I didn't have fun for 1 second.
No.
I had one eye on the door the whole time. So this kid is locked. He locked himself in the bathroom?
He did. Because the thing is, my husband is he's just such a cupcake, but he's an intimidating guy. He's tall. He's got a big beard. He kind of looks like an 80s villain in a way.
He looks the part. He looks the part of the dad who comes home and buries someone in the yard.
Yeah, kind of. And so, it was so, and I actually, because he was kind of knocking on the door trying to coerce him outside, I said that I left my purse in the car and I'll be right back. So that's when I came outside to call you guys. So I can't talk for too long because I'm going to go back in and make sure that they're okay.
Thank you.
So he's still trying to get, like, to convince this kid to come out, and the kid's scared to come out.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think it's going to have to be good cop, bad cop, and I'm going to have to go in and kind of ease him out of the bathroom.
Very dramatic, my goodness.
Being a parent sounds exhausting.
Oh, it is. Are you kidding? My God. My heart goes out to you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Well, hey, if it's not too big a deal, I'd love to get a resolution to this tomorrow. If you can call back and let us know that this kid is okay and that he's out of your bathroom
and that he survived.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's gonna survive. I know he's gonna survive. Well, unless he just has a heart attack on his own. But like, he's home and understands like it's not the end of the world. Because 17-year-olds, they do think like this is the end, man.
It's very dramatic. Yes.
I know it's. We came home early, but I feel like it's going to be a later night than we expected.
Wow, that's
crazy.
My God, and now you're going to have to talk to your babysitter and be like, look, I know this is embarrassing for you too. Don't let it scar you, but seriously, don't ever have anyone at our house again.
Right?
Oh,
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I hope she learns, We're not the only family she babysits for, so Lord knows how long it's been going on.
I'll tell you one thing. She ain't never going to forget this one.
That little hoochie.
That little hoochie. She had it coming. She had it coming. All right, Virginia, get back in there and play good cop, please.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a good night. Call us back tomorrow and let us know what happened.
Okay.